p.m. Wednesday nights.
Facebook watch parties are welcome.
If you found out that someone you used to date changed their gender, what would you do and how would you feel? If you found out, I'm repeating. If you found, hold on. Wait a minute. No. Hold on, you don't set me up.
15 minutes with DJ Countryman and Rudi.
When I leave the room, you cannot say yes, you cannot say no, you cannot repeat, you cannot hesitate, and you cannot say mm-mm. Okay? The moment I leave the room, the game starts.
How you doing, Ken?
Very well.
Are you okay, Ken?
Feeling good.
You cheating?
I would never say that. No, I would never say that.
You just said no, I would never say that. I am the champion!
You're gone.
That's America.
You sure?
Well, last time I checked on Google.
No bother with it. Ooh, good morning, Carolyn. How you doing, girl? Nice to have you in the room, nice and early, bright and early, I must admit. Bloody cold though. I don't know how you're feeling right about now, but I am feeling bloody cold. Morning, Astrid. How you doing, girl? Hope you got my little note. Get in touch with that geezer. You know what I mean? Pretty good businessman, actually. Worth having a little word with. And yes, good morning, Denise. How you doing? You guys fine? Well, the room's starting to fill up pretty rapid, man. And I'm not going to be on too long this morning, I'm afraid, people. Yeah, not going to be on too long. Oh, morning, Tina. How you doing? Juicy Julie, how you doing? Chocolate, how you doing? I thought I would pop in and say good morning, rather than not just show up, so to speak. Do you know what I mean? Because it's been quite a busy weekend for me. Morning, Keatley. Oh my gosh, who's here? Stranger. How you doing, Donna? Nice to have you back, girl. Nice to have you back, girl. Yeah, everyone's been busy, man. Everyone's been celebrating, getting up to loads of stuff, and I know you've been doing your stuff, D, as well. Tina, how you doing, Tina? Good morning, darling. How you doing? Morning, one and all. Morning, one and all. I was gonna pick up with where we left off on Friday when we was talking about Muhammad and Cassius Clay, the name, and what it actually stood for, or who he was. In fact, who Cassius Clay was. Morning, Sugar. Sugar, you got bright and early as well? Everybody's bright and early this morning. I know why. Spice. Morning, Roots. Morning, girls. I know why. Because it's Monday, so everybody fresh from the weekend, isn't it? So because I'm fresh from the weekend, is why I couldn't get up early on the Monday morning. I see. Meanwhile, Antigone is most probably doing the school run. That's what's most probably happening there. Yes. Oh. Are you here as a friend or are you here as a spy? I asked you that question. I'm serious when I asked you that, Juliet G. Serious when I asked you that question there. I've had 3 hours sleep, love. Is that all? You've had 3 hours. I haven't slept yet, you know, believe it or not. just sat up reading. Basically just sat up reading. Sleep just didn't take me. You look at behind him, look on they're in like not nearly fresh at all. Then I think you need to go and bathe, don't you? You give me a joke this morning. You need to go over. Who else? 3 hours. You too. Yeah, but I mean, why? Thought it was just me one. Nah, man. Look like we got only for 9 hours in here today. Only for 9 hours. Everybody has to stay up late, apart from Carolyn, because Carolyn knows she have work to do. She have work to do later on. Me and Spice was up late. Mash this morning too. So everybody mash. Right, so it's not just me then. Rotted. I thought it was going to be just me. This is me. I'm thinking to myself, you know what? They're not going to need some energy. They're going to need some push this morning. And if you can't deliver that, then it's best not to stay on. Yeah. So I was thinking to myself, oh, okay, I'll come on, say good morning to everyone, you know, at least be polite, and then you know, go and chill after about maybe half an hour, 20 minutes. But I'm quite surprised to hear that there's quite a few insomniacs in the room. I'm very surprised to hear there's quite a few insomniacs. Yes, Kaz. LOL. Is that a different? That actually looks like a different avatar picture that you got up. Yes, Sharon. You put the Spice in now, Sharon Spice Gibson, because before everybody was hearing Spice, but nobody who knew who Spice was. Now people know who Spice is. Do you know what I mean? It's you and Kaz are crazy like that. Both of you got these nicknames, but Kaz don't put down her nickname. She'll call me Caroline, call me Caroline. And it's like, yeah, but then, or call me Kaz. And you're like, well, hold on. What do you want me to call you? Kaz or Caroline? Which one you want? Which one you want? Make up your mind, make up your mind. Oh, God. Let me get this in. You know? Right. Just check in to see, right? Who else is in the room? Because, believe it or not, the best way for me to check is actually on my phone. This video has no sound. It's not meant to have sound. Okay. So there's another 4 people in there. Okay. And everybody else is in this room. Cool. 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 So I don't want people to think I'm being rude, leaving them out. You know what I mean? Because that would be rude. So I guess you all heard about Mr. Trump there. He's out of the hospital, isn't he? Walking around town, you know what I mean? In his car, like he's all right. Meanwhile, telling everybody else they must lock up themselves and nobody see them people, but not him. Tina says, I'm very well apart from Fritz balls here from this weather. Frizz balls. That's a white thing, isn't it? Frizz ball hair. What is frizz ball hair? Never heard of frizz ball hair. Oh, okay. Oh, you did? Oh, you're so nice. I woke up especially for you. Thank you very much. Much appreciated, I tell you. Jem? Jamila? Jem? Yeah? Aren't you running late? No. She's running late, you know. That data mind. Frizzball. Okay, I'm going to assume that's because your hair is mostly the weather and everything. So I see that Trump still shows casing even with COVID. Well, apparently he's actually getting cussed off right about now for Biden. Because if he's supposed to have all the best doctors and everything around him, I will assume that the best advice that he's going to get is that you do not to leave the hospital. You know what I mean? Unless you try to get empathy from people. It must be empathy that he's looking for, or sympathy. I would say more sympathy, because he's got the old election coming up, hasn't he? Was nothing wrong with Trump at all. Just a big sure. Easy. Well, there's quite a few people who would agree with you on that one, girl. There's quite a few people who would agree on you on that one. I'm not gonna lie. Because I even had I did put a meme up about that on Saturday, I think it was. Oh boy. On Saturday, I had a meme up just about the same thing. My man. You know what I mean? Trying this little thing, innit? Am I try a little thing? No, that's not the one. Where is it? See something half asleep to rotted. Where the thing there, man? Where the thing there? If it's not there, then it must be. It's even in my head now, you know, Denise. Oh yeah, I was going to ask you, look, this on Friday. If you walked into school and you saw a teacher looking like this, would you allow him to teach your kids? Because there was actually a story about him, and he actually does teach kids, junior kids at that. Junior. Little kids. I mean, where do you draw the line when it comes to school dress? But he actually teaches kids. That's crazy, isn't it? Yeah. You can come to work like that. Yeah, but you can't come to work with locks. Can't come to work with a cane roll. Them not like that. That can't happen. You know there's something's wrong, man, when you see stuff like that, man. Oh, I had it here all along. There you go. That was the one I was looking for. That was the one I was looking for. Because I don't think either of them are fooling anyone. I don't think either of them are fooling anyone. Not that I was saying that people are not dying, by the way, because I don't want to be misunderstood. Oh, Marcy says, hell no. No ass teaching my child. No. If I could not go to school with Afro, he can't teach my children. Well, he actually does teach children. He literally does teach children. He wouldn't have got the job at my school. Seriously. And what school do you teach in, by the way, Marcy? Secondaries, junior? Depends on the subject. I'd rather have a black teacher. Yeah. I'd rather have any teacher who ain't going to be looking like that. I'm not worried about your skin color, to be honest with you. It's anybody who could pass on the information that children need in order to take them further. That's who I would want. I agree they did not have it. Have it neither did Prince Charles. I agree they did not have it, neither did Prince Charles. Interesting. Interesting, peeps. Sixth form. Oh, so you teach the bigger kids. Okay. Do they give you a hard time though? And that's what I assumed, that most schools had a dress code. And one of them was, you cannot teach kids looking like that. But obviously they wanted to be politically correct. So they didn't want to, you know what I mean, question him. He looks like Satan. He bloody well is Satan, if you ask me. And I look like Satan. He's Satan. He's even got his eyeballs tattooed, believe it or not. A tattoo teacher, not the appearance I will want in front of my child. His personal choice, again, white privilege strikes again. Hello, Verona. How you doing? White privilege strikes again. Anything that might cause offense isn't allowed. That's what I assumed until I saw that photograph, to be honest with you, Marcia. Once I saw that photograph, I started to think differently. It just depends on what school, I guess, or what the headmaster's like. I don't know. But that's what I'm assuming. you can see, I've got to get into my stride. I've got to get into my stride. I've got to realize that today's Monday. Got a good interview lined up for you guys later on with Trevor Fagan from the Rough Cut band, the drummer. So we're going to find out about stuff that's been going on behind the scenes, as well as what goes on in Trevor's life. Because there were certain things that I didn't even know about him, you know what I mean? I had to find out that the hard way. You know? So I thought, yeah. Okay. That's quite interesting. That's very interesting, actually. I must say. Yeah, so I've got to get up to speed with the week. My week is starting off very, very slowly, as you can see. I feel like I don't feel like I'm going through treacle at the moment, but I feel like it's almost like I am, even though I've been awake, it's like I'm waking up to the week, if you get what I mean. Nothing against tattoos per se. What is in his heart, though? Yeah, I hear you, but they say look is everything, though, isn't it? The way you look. Morning, Liz. How you doing, girl? Compared to everybody else, you're late. They say that looks is everything. You know what I mean? Because first impressions count, innit? And the kind of impression that man gave me is like, you know what, him teach my pitney them at all. You know what I mean? Me no want him teach them at all. But then, if you saw someone wearing some hot pants like this, would you want them to teach your child? Would you want them, master? Would you really? Would you really? I guess you would. I guess you would. I guess you would. Oh, God. I heard this tune over the weekend. Really liked it. So I thought, why not? I guess the nicest thing to me about that, it was actually Black British. It was actually Black British. It was actually about us. And it made it so much easier to relate to. But I didn't know it was a Nas track. Was it a Nas track? Is that right, Jules? Revitalized. Nas, loving the current vibe. Yeah. Some strong words there. And not only that, but they showed Leo Chester was in there as well, innit? You know what I mean? And maybe just think of, yeah, but it's Leo Muhammad now, isn't it? I got when I see Leo, I got to ask him who was Muhammad actually, and see what he's gonna say, because I know that Barry got pissed off. Barry was very upset. Barry Muhammad, when he was in the room on Friday, and put up the clip about the things that Muhammad had said. The fact that he was a white guy. I say the fact that he was a white guy. And that Cassius Clay was actually a freedom fighter who actually, was it Lincoln, confided in and also asked him for his services. Cassius Clay. That's what kind of like blew me away. And then what was painfully obvious as well was the fact that we didn't. So there was a few people in the room who wasn't open to other things that was going on in Africa, and the lack of knowledge when it came to what was going on the east side of Africa and the Arabs and what they were doing. But I didn't mean to upset Barry. But then at the same time, to be honest with you, I'm not out to appease anybody as such. You know what I mean? I'm like, if these are the facts that are there, and if this is what happened, then it should at least be explored and questioned. But just to go, oh, it's lies, and then he's quoting from the Quran. And I was very much aware that slavery was happening in East Africa well before it happened on West African side, before the Portuguese came along. They say that the Portuguese first slave ships was in 1530 something or whatever. Even though we know, you know what I mean, it actually began around 1492. So it all became really questionable, really. You know. Yeah, it was quite very informative, wasn't it? It was just Nas, one mic, same beats, similar principle, but Nas was about his music and personal journey. I like some of Nas's stuff though. I must admit. I remember once downloading quite a few of his albums, and I never really got round to listening to them all. Oh, that's just typical, isn't it? Yeah, never really got a chance to take them all in, but the stuff that he comes out with is I kind of like, do like, and still do like. I guess I don't know if you all saw that Nabil Abdullah Rashid got through on Britain's Got Talent. Another fellow comedian, very good, very good. He went to private school. That guy, he actually went to private school. He was a guy who used to struggle on the circuit because of the same voice that he has on Britain's Got Talent is the same voice that he used to use on the circuit. But because it wasn't playing to the lowest common denominator, so to speak, that's why a lot of the promoters never used to book him. You know, because he wasn't just loud and raucous and what have you, and he wasn't talking about, you know, superficial stuff. He was actually doing social satire. So I really wasn't surprised that he got to where he got to. What I think what was lucky was that he had two judges who could understand him, because it would have been interesting to know what would have happened had what's his name been there. You know, the guy who actually runs it. You know, apparently he's broken his back. Look at that. I know that he's broken his back, but his name's not coming off the tip of my tongue. Who's the head of the Britain's Got Talent? Oh my, yeah. I told you my brain is running slow this morning. Nabil is the bomb. Nabil is definitely the bomb. The guy was dropping it, man, dropping it. And the funny thing is that after the whole thing, everybody was more taking the piss out of the racists in terms of saying Simon Cowell, that's the guy, yeah, Simon Cowell. Everyone was more taking the piss out of the racists when they were going, okay, let's get ready for Ofsted now. Do you know what I mean? They're going to be inundated with phone calls any minute now. Yeah, Ashley was there. So imagine if Ashley wasn't there. Yeah, if Ashley weren't there, I think you know, the judging might have been slightly skewed, didn't it? Yeah. But because there were two people of color there, they were not only were they able to identify, you know, but they were also able to participate in the decision that needed to be made. So I believe that there's a black musician that's gone through now. Brother come out dancing, you know, because I do like Britain's Got Talent. I genuinely do. So there's a black musician who's got through, and there's Nabil who's got through, which is pretty good. I thought the musician was going to lose out to the blind girl though, but he didn't. He did really well. Because the trick that he did wasn't really all there. Well, it was. I mean, 1 minute is because the thing is that he had his wife on the screen, and then the next thing you know, his wife appears in a box, and you think to yourself, well, the screen, they could have recorded that, so that's not a problem. That's not an issue. Anyone could have recorded that. But how he got his wife into the box is an old trick. That's an old trick. Oh, sorry, Keatley. Sorry, I didn't mean to ignore what you said, man. All these things we now realize that has been a part of our lives. 2020 nearly done. What next in 2021 or 2022? What next? Help to change legislation for what next? For multiple challenges. You know what? That's a damn good question. What next? That's a damn good question. What next? And I got a friend of mine who lives in Canada, and when I met him, we were actually roommates. We were roommates.
Hey,
And it was interesting to hear
so we're into
what he had to say. Yeah, so I'm going to share this because I do confide in this guy, and we do talk quite a bit. So what I'm going to do, because I actually do want to interview him at some point, because I think that he's worth a listening to, just in terms of what he's got to say. So you might find this interesting. He's a good guy. He's definitely a good guy. So we'll play some of him.
So we're into the last quarter of the year. And so what does that mean? I've heard some people say, you know, I can't wait for 2020 to be over, right? For 2020 to be behind us. Well, what if this wasn't the last quarter? You know, what is going to happen in 2021 then? You know, when 2020 is behind you, what's going to happen if you can't wait for this year to be over? What's going to be different? What's going to be different for you? What are you doing right now in this last quarter to make it different, to prepare yourself for 2021? I've also heard people say, perhaps you have too, where people say, I can't wait for things to be back to normal or go back to normal, or I just wish they were normal again, or like normal or like before. But what, you know, why is, you know, how it was before normal? Why was that so much better? I mean, comparatively speaking, I mean, there's a lot of challenges right now. And so the current state is, you know, probably not as good as the way it was before. But, you know, in my studies recently, and in a group chat, we were talking about, you know, we felt very comfortable before and you feel safe. And so when things change, you know, they disrupt your routine, they disrupt your, that sort of comfortable, safe place or zone that you felt in. And, you know, even though maybe that wasn't so good or perfect, but you just felt comfortable and safe. And when things change, you know, it's disruptive, right? And so that makes you feel like, well, I don't like this. And it's, you know, it makes you worry and fearful. And it's just, you know, it takes you a little bit out of, puts you in a different direction. But, you know, then the question came up, you know, did the past, you know, really feel that comfortable and safe because it was so perfect and ideal? Or is it really because of what you know or what you knew? You know, sometimes, you know, what we know and become accustomed to, and then we feel safe and comfortable and we're really resistant to change, right? But when we do that, then you deny yourself a more, you know, a future which is more empowering for you. So, you know, when you think that, like right now, you compare today to what it was like in the past really can only be used as a barometer, because, you know, we can't live in the past. The future, well, We can't live in the future, but we can prepare for the future. And you might be someone who's like worrying about it, worrying about the future. And when you worry now about something that may or may not even happen, you're living that now. You're living something that's strictly in your imagination. So when you compare then to now, and you think about and focus on what was in your past and what you don't know about what's going to happen in the future, then you truly are giving away, your greatest power. And that's to develop and create a present. And, whatever you create today will determine, tomorrow, your future tomorrow. So, yeah, there's things in the past that you miss. Things from, the beginning of the year or from last year. But really, can I say that it was perfect? No. But I can take elements of my past and hold on to them and discard things that I really didn't care for and create something new and better. So I have goals, and I'm working with people that have goals, and the goals, they don't have to let go of those goals. You don't have to let go of your goal. I'm not letting go of my goals. Just the way to the goal might change. And you know what? Recently, I achieved something, a success, and I'm going to achieve more successes before the end of this year. And the direction completely changed because of the challenges that we're all going through and experiencing. But something came to be that I didn't anticipate at all. And you can experience great successes. You just have to, be a little bit more imaginative and creative. And, you can create a better normal. It's not going to be the same. There's going to be this new normal that, this is a common phrase that's going around. But this new normal can be a better version of yourself. In our talk, in our discussion, in our reading, it was this said, a 2.0 version of yourself. So you really have a chance now to design and create the life that you want. You really do. You can start today. You can go out and make this last quarter a turning point and really set yourself up for what you want to do and where you want to go when the new year rolls around. The author of this article that I was reading included this quote, and I'll close it off with this quote from Theodore Roosevelt, who said, "Comparison is the thief of joy." Love to hear from you. Leave some comments below or send me a private message and we'll talk further. I'll catch you.
He's a mate of mine, Lady Reed. That's who he is. He's a guy that I spent an entire week with in Cancun. And that's all we used to sit up and talk about all night. We was chatting about stuff like that. He always sees the glasses half full instead of half empty. He's one of them kind of man there. Do you know what I mean? But it was the way in which he kind of said that as bad as things are, it's actually an opportunity to look at the possibility of recreating the type of future that you really would like to have. Because a lot of people found that when COVID did come along and they were locked up, plus they were furloughed at the time, that it gave them the opportunity to actually think about what they were actually doing. So if we're going to look at this situation in a negative light, we're going to continually see it in the negative light. Doesn't mean that we're not going to be locked up and stuff like that. I agree, we will be, but it means that it's an opportunity, the sort of opportunities that Astrid took, for example, which was to write 2 books. Do you know what I mean? And not only did she write 2 books, but we all saw her write those. We were all part of that journey when she was doing that, to the point where it got published, kind of like thing. So it's just a question of how you want to interpret what's going on, because it's not good. There's no question about it. The lockdown, everything, yes, mash us up. But like for me, for example, it meant that, okay, I can no longer be on stage, but then what else could I do? So I ended up creating these platforms. So there's the Rants and Bants, there's the chat show, there's the Anything Goes, and there's 15 Minutes with DJ Countryman and Rudi Lickwood, as you already know. But it just goes to show that when your back is to the wall, you can actually produce creative things. And then to stop and think, was the past really that good in the first place? And I think the honest answer to that is no. I think the honest answer to that is no. I don't think anybody was really happy with the way that things were in the past. We don't like the idea of being coerced into taking the vaccine. We don't like the idea of being coerced into not allowing our families to come round. But I think that's a separate argument all by itself in terms of how we actually look at this situation and how we're going to try and move forward with it, if you follow what I'm trying to say. So comparing the past to comparing what the present could be means that, in that respect, that the present is in your hands. Because the thing is, there's a possibility that yes, you could lose your job, but then it's what are you going to do to make that change, or what can you do? Because at the end of the day, we're not helpless, are we? Really, not really. You know, because sometimes I even struggle with the idea of complaining about living in the complaining about living conditions in the UK, but yet for staying here. Then if you don't like it to a certain degree, then you should go. You should go somewhere where you would prefer it to be. You know, well, here's the thing though. Not happy then, and I'm not happy now. But then nobody can make you happy apart from yourself. Not even if a man came into your life could he make you happy, because you have to be happy within yourself. So you have to find what it is that's going to make you happy. No other person outside of you can give that to you. Because if I'm not happy within myself, then my whole household is not happy. Because they will feel my vibe, because that's the vibe I will be giving off. And they'll be, oh, what's wrong? You're right. What's wrong? You're right. And then they're not happy because I'm not happy. But if I'm happy within myself, then when I walk through the door, so the sunshine will follow me, so to speak. Because obviously, I think that happiness is a thing that comes and goes. I don't think happiness is a constant. I really don't. Especially when a blue letter lands on your especially when one of them red letters land on your mat, so to speak, or pops through the letterbox. Do you know what I mean? Or when the washing machine goes, or when you get called up to the school because your child's been misbehaving, and you know what I mean? But I think overall you could be happy though. But I think it's something that comes and goes, you know. Eventually I will rise up. Eventually? Woo! You'll rise up, girl. You will definitely rise up. Do you know what I mean? I'll tell you, and you know what you'll do? I'll show you what you'll do, right? I'll show you what you'll do. Because you will rise up. I know you will rise up. I'll show you what you'll do. Let me see if I can find it now. I'm looking for it for you, man. I can't. Damn it! I knew where it was. Right. I think. Quick. Let's put a smile on her face, because I think. Oh, rude boy, what's wrong with you, man? Bow, 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 bow. Nope. You get away again. That's not right, man. If it's not in the 15th. Oh, come on. Okay, I'll have to show it to you on another day. Sorry about that, Denise. It's like I had my own hopes up for you. I can't believe I can't find this bloody thing. Oh, here you go, Denise. I found it. Yeah? Yeah, because what he said, eventually you will rise. Nah, girl, you'll rise, all right. Oh, yeah. Well, hold on. Whoops, the file is a bit too large. The size of, oh, you lucky little thing. Let's see if it will go in here. Nope, it won't go in there. Oh, you lucky little thing, you. Right, what I'll do is I'll have it for you tomorrow. I'll have a nice little surprise for you. Not tomorrow, on Wednesday. Just for you, Denise. Rudi, I respect you developed the platforms, as I remember clearly furlough and not doing what came naturally to you performing on stage. Cruise ships was immensely difficult, but COVID has transformed you to our viewing pleasure, and I'm thankful for that and happy for you too, as well-being is utmost important. Oh my God. Yeah. Thank you. Hugs. Not an easy time at all. It's not an easy time for anyone, and that's I think that's the point. And I think that's the point. But I think it also, we should also stop and really look at what yesterday was really like. Do you know what I mean? What yesterday was really like, because you know, it was like being able to turn around and say, well, we couldn't go to work with our hair plait. We couldn't go dressed up the way that he went dressed up. That teacher went dressed up as at school. Do you know what I mean? We were and we still are being followed around by the Asian man when we go shopping. Do you know what I mean? Even the track that we played earlier on was pointing out all of these things. Yeah. But then if that be the case, then what, because remember Wednesday's show in Anything Goes was really about stepping outside one's comfort zone. So it's like, it just becomes a question of like, how far outside of your comfort zone are you prepared to step? Yeah. In order to make an incremental change that's going to make you feel that much better. Because remember, it doesn't have to be a big change. It doesn't have to be massive. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be this great, big, massive, oh my God, I'm going to turn everything 180 degrees round to say that you're going to have change. Do you know what I mean? It could be just to do one thing differently for the day. Just one thing. You know? Because to me, sometimes it's like when I find just one line, sometimes I might find one line and I'll go up on stage and I'll deliver it. And that makes my day. Just one line. Because it changes everything. It's like when you throw a pebble, that's right. It's like when you throw a pebble into water. It has even though it's a small pebble, the ripple effects are tremendous. So there are small changes that we could all make, in a sense, to make things just that little bit more nicer, so to speak. Denise, like a phoenix, innit? I love the phoenix in the X-Men. How you doing, Gary? How you doing? Who's Ruby, by the way? Drinky. That's what I always say and do. Have a little drink, eh? Nom, 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 nom. You little alcoholic. Hey, you meant to be in your cab, eh? You have a good day. You have a good day. Got to run. Early morning meeting. Have a great start to the week, Rudy. And the Rants and the Bants group. No, that's actually out to the Rants and Bants group from Jules. Mormon tweeples, you know. God. You know what I mean? Yeah, you already know that I'm interviewing Trevor later on. 8:30. I'm actually looking forward to the chat, to be honest with you. You definitely will. Like a phoenix, happiness is elusive right now, but we will rise. Can't do nothing else. Oh, them are some nice words. For real. Happiness indeed is not constant, but it is determined by self. That's my point. For many years, I looked at others to provide me with the happiness, but I had to look in all areas of my life to seek the balance. And once I was happy with taking back control of all areas and knowing I'm blessed more than I realized. And I think you're a classic example when it comes to that, though. To be honest with you, Antigua, I think you're without a shadow of a doubt. Because half the time sometimes we don't even know when we're miserable. Do you know what I mean? We just are. And even when all the signs are there, believe it or not, all the signs can be staring you in the face, and you don't even take note of it. You know. But I think that yeah, Antigua is a very good example of that. And turning things around. And the thing is, as you know, it's not something that happens overnight, which is what we all want, really. Can me want change? No, but I want it tomorrow. We want it no, which is kind of like understandable. But you know, transformation takes time, man. It takes time. And I guess not only does it take time, but as Antigua will tell you, it takes effort. 2014, 2018, 2020. So what's that, 4 years of transformation? But I think the decision's got to be made up here first, hasn't it? That's where it has to start first, mate. If you don't get it right up there, you don't get it right anywhere. Oh, sorry, Gary. Sorry, Paul. Audrey B, respect, real talk. Good morning. Yeah, it's real talk this morning. Bit low key. I am a bit low key this morning, I must admit. Morning, Tracy. I do believe Tracy, did you receive your CD from Peter Terry? You should have done. And Liz, Tracy, who else was it who wanted a CD on Wednesday? It was Liz, Tracy, I think there were 3 more. I can only assume that Peter has sent them out. I don't know. Yeah, it's real talk this morning. And morning, Liz Henry. Morning, Julie. Morning. Julie gone, you know. Unless I'm behind you, like, I must be way behind. Yep, I had plenty of red flags slipping into me head. Oh, I thought it was slipping into you differently. I was like, what's a red flag doing up there? And still I was colorblind by it. But then I was ready to face things. Then I began my journey of discovery, which led to happiness. Cool. Love it. Love that, says Shooks. Love that. Nope, not got mine. Okay, I hear you. Thanks, Han. Keith says, I hear cryptic confusion. Our past makes some other people say, other people. Are we talking about other people, or are we talking about individually you? Other people say, I don't think like that. My best friend is a black person. Privileged, drop it. What? Drop it. What was? It's what was. Let it go. The past is the past, they say, but the said privilege goes on. Why? Some people are conditioned unknowingly. Help people to realize we are all a living being to be treated equally. Right. There's quite a few stuff in here that you're saying, Keith. and I hear you. Cryptic confusion. Our past makes some other people say. I don't think like that. Yeah, but you can't be responsible for what other people think. Firstly, my best friend is a black person. Yes, you hear that all the time. Yeah. Yeah, well, one of my best friends are black. So because your best friend is black doesn't mean that you don't hold racist views or racist opinions. And like you said, unknowingly, because some people are conditioned unknowingly. We were all conditioned unknowingly, even from the day we were children and our parents told us about Santa Claus. Yeah, we get conditioned from the beginning. I mean, when you stop and you really think about it, the whole world is 180 degrees running the other way. What they call the south of Africa is actually the north. And what is the north of Africa is actually the south. And even though the Africans told the Europeans this, they still named the countries they named them, even though they already had names, because there was a post that I put up about the Caribbean. The world maps are the wrong size, yeah, and this was all to confuse everybody on the planet. So this conditioning that we're getting is deliberate, and that's why conspiracy theories come about, and that's why we can pull out people like Bill Gates. But then you've got other people who would just want to go along with stuff. But and I see it every time I see a mask. I see it, especially if I see it and somebody's in their car by themselves. I can see it, because then that's when you start talking about the conditioning going on unknowingly, because people just don't want to face. They're frightened of the consequences, which I understand, because I would be frightened of the consequences. But then I'm like, what consequences? You know what I mean? Because the way that what's his name was, Boris was talking, right, was like any minute the army's going to come in and everybody's going to get forced into their houses. And the way that they've got the NHS doing the track and trace thing, you can see it's like they're coming in on us to say everybody's going to have to take this vaccine, or you can't travel, you can't get work, you can't get money out of your bank account. We can see it all. It's okay. So when you talk about the conditioning, man, they're taking the piss with it now. I was sent a clip by one of you in the room, actually, where it was seen that we're heading towards that direction, where the corporations are going to be running the planet. But I thought, I played 2 video clips already, so that's enough. You know what I mean? No more. But mate, I might play it on Wednesday. We'll see. I've never got my CD. I MSG him every week. Jeez, I nearly giving up on this. Okay. Wagwan Paul, that's coming from Denise. Still on my days, what this ras them. You see, Donna's back in the room, innit? Good to have you back, Donna. Donna Ben, I'm telling you, each week the message says he's on it. Not sure what him on though. I hear you. I'm not letting go of nothing. I'm still learning about my people. You're learning all the time, man. Learning all the time. Stay healthy, eat healthy. Hey you. I can see you down in the chip shop every week. Simply teaching the right history of our world needs to be taught to make it equal and right. We live in hope. We sure do, because Black History Month is a joke as far as I'm concerned. Black History Month is a joke. It should be just world history and done. If anything, it should be like, this is a celebration of the contribution of the African civilization. But to say you're going to have a Black History Month and then you're going to close it off after that. I mean, I was listening to Nick Ferrari, the racist, when he was talking about Prince Harry and the fact that his wife was saying that it's good that Britain has got a Black History Month, and he goes, "We always had Black History Month. We always had Black History Month. If she knew, since 1992, we've been doing Black History Month." And I'm like, listen to Nick for the real listener. You know, he ain't that man. Don't do Black History Month. And it was like they only carted him out so that he could say that. And then they swiftly moved on to something else. They go, yes, and now we'll move on to something else. So that he could just knock it and then they can move on. You know, because they don't really celebrate Black History, man. They don't. Because if they did, you don't know maths is finished when they tell them where the maths comes from. Do you know what I mean? Everything, you know. I think they're afraid to talk about our history, Liz. They are, without a shadow of a doubt. It's frightening that if they were to, you know, who they'd have to pay credit to, and from the time they got to pay credit to, that means the money has to go that way as well. And at the end of the day, no one's going to want to let go of power. It doesn't matter who's running the planet, whether you be black or white. You're not going to want to let go of your power. But the difference is that it's not within the African nature to behave the way in which the Europeans have conducted themselves since they came to power. Because Africans were always in power, but they just didn't choose to behave that way. Even when the Chinese, we was talking about it the other day, even when the Chinese discovered gunpowder, they never chose to use it the way the Europeans chose to use it. Because they always saw a battle as something of honor. They looked at it from an honor point of view, not from where we're going to take over and mash up everything that belonged to you. You know? Liz Harvey, what are you having to go? Liz Harvey, this is what I was getting at before, Liz. Black history is best taught by black teachers. I hear you. I hear you. It's best taught by those who know what they're talking about. If they can honestly talk about it. Because even when the guy was talking about Cassius Clay and Muhammad Ali, he was smirking about it. And he felt, it almost came across like he felt I could punch Muhammad Ali in the face. And it wasn't as though he was coming across to correct a wrong or a misunderstanding that has got the world in turmoil. It almost came like he was actually poking his finger in Muhammad Ali's eye. Because he kept on going back to Muhammad Ali saying, it's a white man's name, it's a white man's name, it's a white man's name. No, it's a black man. No, he's saying Cassius Clay is a white man's name. It's a slave name. You know, but it's worth looking up that name, Cassius Clay. You know what I mean? And that added short. So Shugs agrees with you, Sandy. Corporations running the planet. That is the backstory straight out of the rollerball controlled by the internet. That is Skynet from the Terminator films. That is where we are, people. Most of the stuff that that's happening today, we can find in films. There were several films that came out depicting what's going on today. Right, we are now right up to the end of the show, ladies and gentlemen. Not even a show, I say the conversation that we normally have in the morning. I wouldn't even call this a show. It's just a conversation. Speak for yourself, Rudy. Me and my food, not them food. Like I don't know, wash your hands. Eat my food. Any subject is best taught by good teachers. That was my point. But then at the same time, there is. It's not. It's. I think there's slightly more, because would you rather a woman talk about the female organs, the reproductive system within a woman, the experience of going through a period, her menstrual cycle, would you rather hear it from a man or a woman? So it's best taught by the person who understands it best. That's my personal opinion. Everyone's got an opinion. But that's why I'm here, because I do have opinions. If you have the correct knowledge, does it really matter who delivers it? Yes. Yes, I think it does, from what I was saying. Sandy Muhammad agreed. I agree, as long as it's delivered correctly. I think we all do. I think we all do. And that's... I think that's what some people don't get. And it's yeah, because it's who it's taught by. Because I mean, it's the way it's taught and where the person is coming from. Because it's always the intent that's the most important thing, isn't it? Like anything else. So I'm hoping that I will see a lot of you guys later on. I've got to get ready for the show with oh God. I'll tell you, Trevor Fagan and Jackie Williams. It's going to be interesting. Jackie's quite an interesting person as well, and she only lives she lives in Birmingham. Believe it or not, she lives in Birmingham. So she's from our Pullocked end, should I say? Definitely, it's the passion in which it is delivered without prejudice or ignorance, and I think that's the thing. That it's the prejudice, the prejudging. You know, and then again the ignorance again, and that's why it's best taught by the person who's got the best knowledge. And so when we talk of, because we are specifically talking about Black history, there are very few people who are knowledgeable about Black history. In truth, And then even then we've got to be careful that if it's a Black person who teaches it, that they don't teach it in a supremacist kind of way as well. So hence that's why I teach myself. But I don't teach myself. I actually was taught by Robin Walker. Yeah, he's the guy I spent money on to find out. Blessings all. Good. Back to government work. Boo, I figure. See you all later. Have a great day. Country we there. You hear? That's not round the corner from you, Rudi. No, it's round the corner from Coventry. You guys have a good day, yeah? And thanks for popping in this morning, as well as waking my brain up a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Because it did need a bit of waking up this morning, but we got there in the end. Thank you very much, and I'll see you later. Bye.
PM Wednesday nights.
Facebook watch parties are welcome.
If you found out that someone you used to date changed their gender, what would you do and how would you feel? If you found out, I'm repeating. If you found, hold on. Wait a minute. No. Hold on. You don't set me up.
15 minutes with DJ Countryman and Rudi.
When I leave the room, you cannot say yes, you cannot say no, you cannot repeat, you cannot hesitate, and you cannot say Okay? The moment I leave the room, the game starts.
How you doing, Ken?
Very well.
Are you okay, Ken?
Feeling good.
You cheating?
I would never say that. No, I would never say that.
You just said no, I would never say that. I am the champion.
You're gone.
That's America.
You sure?
Well, last time I checked on Google.
No bother with it.